see me forge blades, so I'm going to try and minimize the actual forging part of it a little bit to get to what I think is a really important thing I don't think we've really talked about before. Today will be about hidden Tang knives. Okay, a lot of times you want to forge a knife, you've got an idea in your head, and you go ahead and you forge it, and it's never exactly what you want it to be. My suggestion is that you sketch it out. I do. I've got sketches from the beginning of time when I started, and different versions. I think I sketched that one a bunch of times before I figured out which design I liked. So we're going to work on that one right there. I'm just flipping through so you can see. There's a lot of sketches in there. All right. This is my journeyman smith knife. And there we go. This is the one we're going to do. So I'll sketch it from a couple different angles most times. So I'll figure out measurements and thicknesses and things like that from there. After I do that, I make a plexiglass, and I overdo this, so I'll make a plexiglass template based on the sketch, okay? And on that, I'll mark out where I'll need the tang to be. On a hidden Tang knife, it can be as strong as a full Tang knife. It's just that you need to do it right, okay? And if you can see in the sketch, I just have little shoulders and then the Tang, just enough so that I have a strength in the handle material up on the top and bottom of that Tang. Then I taper it off as little as I can and get a little more strength in the handle as I go back. So that's all going to be in the right place when you get done forging, or at least close enough that when you grind you can get it there. Otherwise you got to go back to the forge or start over, or your knife changes the design. And when you're talking about millimeters making all the difference in how a knife works, it's important to get it right. So first there's the plexiglass template, and that's just a real profile of the entire finished knife. And then I'll make any kind of metal will work. I've seen people make them out of cardboard and paper and things like that, but then when they get done they don't have it anymore because it's all burned up. This is for forging my knife and comparing it to it, okay? And knowing that I'm going to be grinding some of this off to get the exact shape, I'll be a little bit bigger than what this is as far as width, maybe a little longer on the point. But then I can also forge my Tang and lay the forging right on this and see if it's right. Sometimes I lay this on the forging and make sure I've got everything where I want it. So that when I go to grind, I know what I need to take off, what I need to leave, and I don't end up with a skinny, tiny little stick Tang, which are not strong. You have 90-degree shoulders and a 1/4 inch wide Tang going through the handle, it's going to snap off right at where all the stress is, right here. Any questions about that? Okay. This does not take that long. You do it once, it might, and then you figure out a system. The next time you do it, it just doesn't. If you have a little bandsaw or something, the plastic cuts real easy. You just clean it up. The other thing that happens is if you trace that plexiglass, you lay it on top of whatever metal you're using. It doesn't have to be thick metal. And then trace around your plexiglass and cut just to that line on the metal. The metal's a little wider than what the plexiglass was, just a little. It allows you some room for error when you get down to it. And believe me, when you start grinding, you lose metal in places sometimes you didn't mean to lose. It happens. I'm going to pass this one around. This is for a full Tang design, and you'll be able to see that you can also lay out all your pinholes and everything in advance, so that once you get your forging ground, you can lay that on there and mark your pinholes, and you should be right dead on the money where they're all spaced out the way you want them. Go ahead and pass those around.
by the way, I'd just like to recognize Ed for all the time that he donates and contributes to these meetings and demonstrations and classes. And also just recognize that he did know that he's one of our most recent experiences. Just got his stamp last year, so congrats.
Thank you. This is a really important place here. I recognize that right away. I wish I'd known Bill. Happens to the best of us. Notice I didn't cut it off right where it's burned. I went a little farther. Okay. Just make sure you don't want to take a chance. The metal's not that expensive. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my point. When you're forging a blade, it's going to be pointier before I do my distal taper than what I want it. And then as I do my bevels, it'll widen out some. But that's all part of planning it out. W2, so I'm going to stop a little sooner than normal. It tends to stiffen up a little while you're forging it. Normally 1084 I would have been able to keep going with that. It's pretty hot. That way I can get it reheated quicker. Obviously, if I start forging bevels at that point, it's going to get way too wide. So I've got to make it skinnier than that. Little pointier. Get a little pointier, not much. See, I can lay this on here. I'm not worried about it. It's hurting that template. I don't know about anybody else, but I find I save a lot of time if I can get it right on the forge, on the end. The grinder, I want to spend as little time as possible. And that's what I like to do. I think it's quicker here. You're just refining what you did on the grinder. You can just forge it really quick, get a rough forge, and do the rest on the grinder. There's nothing wrong with that. I forge more as close to shape as possible. It's just a matter of choice. There's no right or wrong about that part. Now before I get pointy here too much, because I want to stick to my profile, my shape here, I'm going to put my distal taper in now and then adjust it from there. Because it's going to get longer when I do that. So it'll look pointier when I get done. So we're going to do distal taper next. A lot of people use this part of the hammer. Normal, that's what everybody does. I'm going to use the peen a little bit. You got to be really careful. So when you see me do it, you don't want to go too deep. I'm going to vary my blows a little bit to try and adjust for the thickness of the metal. Because I just want this blade to get longer right now and get some taper in it. really ruined it now.
Yep.
Start over.
I'm gonna keep my temperature a little low now. Now I'll just flatten those out. Now it'll naturally banana up a little bit because I had that profile already. So as I spread it out, I'm also hitting more with the peen over here, starting my blade geometry a little bit. I'll have to fix that. But we've already got our taper in. And at this point, when I would grind after that, I just follow the blade profile, and it'll be the right taper.
Just out of curiosity, how many people in here have never forged a blade?
Okay, thank you. I should always ask that, I guess. That's actually a really good question. All right, now this is a demonstration, so I'm not going to spend too much time on any one thing because I don't want to get anybody like too bored. We're not here for 2 days straight to learn how to forge a blade. But there I've got my profile pretty close. It's not quite right, but can everybody see the taper, or is it hard to see? Can you put that piece of paper? I just don't want to dump those. Oh well. If I hold this too close to paper, it'll just catch fire. Can you see the taper at all? Okay, so I've already got taper. It's not up to my specs for that length knife. It's pretty close though. Okay, I'd spend more time on it if I was doing it at home. Now we have to get our profile to match. And we're definitely got more belly here than what I want on that knife. Now you'll see me get a lot more careful with the heat because my tip is thick. Very easy to burn. More overheat, have it crumble later. Remember, I'm going to be drawing bevels down, and it's going to get wider. And this is why I wanted to do this, because there's a lot of planning that goes in while you're doing this. It's not just swinging a hammer and getting a general shape. You've got to figure out, well, how wide is that going to get based on how thick the metal is. That tip is already thin now because I put taper in it. It's not going to grow in width that much. So this will. On a 1/4 inch bar of steel, I can get easily 3/16 more width on the bar. Where it gets thicker, I'm going to feed it back a little bit more. So, we're a little pointier now, aren't we? Got a little belly bump right there. I'm going to fix that thing. I think right about there. Get rid of that little bump I saw. Bump up top. I can fix that at the end. So now I'm pretty close, right? You can see I have room to grow there a little bit. I'm going to get a little wider than what my template is. That's okay. So I'm going to mark my anvil so I can do this quickly. Where I want my length to be on my blade.
At the end of the ricotta,
This is going to be the heel of the blade back. I'm going to drop that back heel down, right in here, or the beginning of the ricotta. You see, I don't have a real wide ricotta on this. It's going to be wider while I'm forging it. I can grind up to that from this side. So, I'll find a real nice clean corner on my handle to do this. Mark it. Not that I can see that well. So I'll show you this real quick, but then I'm going to the power hammer to speed it up a little for y'all. So what I'm doing here is I'm defining where my ricotta is and making the pinch to bring that blade bevel down. I'm doing it by putting my steel on the anvil here. I'm lifting the spine off because I don't want to put a crease in the spine. I don't want to thin that out. I'm angling a little so I don't have a pinch that goes back at an angle that way. And I'm angling my hammer to match also. I'm angling it to match the bevel shape. I'm angling the head so I use this edge to make that pinch. Okay? And you see it start to form? Because we have a lot of people here, I'll do a little more by hand. It's fun to watch it grow. The nice thing about this is these dies are matched. The edges are lined up right here. It's drawing die, so if I go and do it on there, it's going to draw the whole blade bevel down, wherever it's hitting this die. So it'll drop straight down. It's very nice. To do that with a hammer is a lot harder. For those of you that don't know what I'm looking for when I'm looking for since so many have not forged before, I'm looking at the color of the steel. Look at scaling up to see if I'm beyond critical or not. I've just gotten used to it. I'll get this kind of hot to get this pinch formed usually, because then I'll do reducing heats later and fix whatever grain growth I cause in the steel. I just find my spot again.
Notice you're not exactly railing on it when you're making that hit.
No, and I've seen guys that did blacksmithing for a living and just line it up there and just go, pop! And it's in. The only bad part about that is it spreads the metal that way. And I want to drop the heel down. I think that looks so good on the knife. To really have that back edge come down and find that blade. So you can really see that now. Now to define where my plunges, I'm going to use stones. They'll go right up against the die, and then it won't float around. I'll know right where I'm hitting. So I got to put these right. Second it hits those dies. You'll see it starts to banana up a little bit because we're going wider. See, yeah, the power hammer's nice. I use my press at home. And for purposes of keeping things in line, I'm not going to hit my ricotta, but I'm going to try and straighten this up a little. See, my blade is lifting up. I'm going to get rid of that real quick here. Okay, use my flat anvil. Back to my bevel. So I stopped. So that looks a lot different. Getting wire, starting to look more like a knife. Taking out my blade a little. Starting to look more like a knife. Still have some bevel drawing to do. We'll get that done next. Like I should get a white apron. Can you see it? Okay. So it's starting to look pretty good. Let's see how far off we are. We're off. I have a feeling. And remember, we want to be a little bit bigger than this, so we have room to grind and things like that. To find that heel better and all. I'm pretty happy with that. It could be a little skinnier right there. Because this blade is a little recurved, but I'll do that on the grinder. Okay, and the reason's because you also need to know when to cut your losses. It's coming out really nice. Okay, so the next step here is to just clean that up with the hammer, because you can see there's a lot of nipples and stuff in it from that power hammer. So I'm going to even out the surfaces. I don't know if you guys can see that it's like, you can walk up if you want to. It's just this thing is like, still got color in it. It's probably 950, 900 degrees. I just don't want anybody. Can you see there's like beat up dimples? I don't want that. That's more to remove with the grinder. I'm always thinking, what do I got to do next? Can I make it easier here? Do your foundation work. Spend your time doing your foundation work no matter what you're doing. Anything. Cut the grass. Gonna be a lot more careful with my heat now. Gonna get that blade back over. Keeping my ricotta off the anvil so I don't mess it up. I don't want to hit that at all. And it's almost done. Peen. Zach's right. Don't start with the peen. Use the horn, it's smart.
Or it's more forgiving.
Woo, a little too hot. It's more forgiving and it's also, it's plenty. It'll do just what you want it to. It's easier to control. I'll come back and keep working on his heel a little bit, get my blade edge over maybe, I hope. Because it's off center. Really off center, but so I am going to hit it on the ricotta, but don't tell anybody you saw me do it.
You water, what's your door?
Nope. I use Clarke's 50 on it, and I'm going to try and fix this blade being off center. Done. I'm only looking right here though. It was all the way to one side. Okay. And I wouldn't normally hit it that color, but I think we're okay. check it again. A little water, so we put this on top. And I think we're still plenty good. And we're right in there. There's a little extra back in here for this heel. Where my heel drops, you can see that it comes down at an angle on the forging. Okay? Well, I can grind that away. And then when I get done, my knife will just drop straight down. You guys see that? See, the forging comes up at an angle. I can grind that little angle away, and then I'll have that nice, sharp, crisp heel. Luckily, it didn't hit the bone. It's hot. Next thing we're going to do is our tang. This is where we got to figure out how long we need it. I just picked it up with my hand. I don't know about aluminum. Ooh, that is hot. Aluminum gets hot and it won't let go of it. I don't know why. So I'm going to steel next, but I just got a few more pieces of this aluminum. But this is where I'm going to define this tang length. If I'm that long when I get done, I'm good. Because if I make a hidden tang out of this, I'm probably going to thread the tang and make it a takedown or something like that. So all that steel drawn out is going to make it like I'll be out here. So I want to figure out. Here's my ricasso. Need a little extra for it. Okay, and then I'm going to go right about here's where I'm going to cut it. Okay, right there. Drawing that out, I'll probably still be too long. But that's fine. I can cut a little tang off. Rather have a little too much. Find my hot spot on the fire. There's a little bit around it, and I'll show you in a second here. Once I get a mark on the lid. If I roll it up on that edge, I can line that up, and then the other side, I can see the edge of my tool and get a nice clean cut all the way around. And I'm right over my cut area. Always find that. Index it back on there. That's the only thing that this is causing me to chase it. But it's the first time using it. Let's see what we got. No, not yet.
Does anyone try using induction heating?
Absolutely. You can buy an induction forge to heat anything. They're cool, just really expensive. You get all different, you need a different size and shape coil for whatever you're doing. You got one turn in it, you'll heat up a little line like that in the metal. You got a whole bunch of turns in it, you heat up that whole section evenly. And it's like fast. Oh, it's a very, very neat thing. Anybody know, you can get them from Blacksmith Depot? I know they have one there. I don't know if they sold them. Some guys are making their own. Recommend if you decide to do that, you know a little bit about electronics, because it's a lot of current.
Trying to pump oil out of that animal?
If it starts squirting out, we're good. Wow. There we go. Hot steel goes where you're not going to step on it or grab it. Now I got a problem, I need tongs. What time is it? You know what time it is? Oh, that's not too bad. I don't want to take too long. Let's move along, okay. So that's what we got so far. Okay? When we draw this out, it's going to be a lot more metal there than you think. Of course, I got to get this, that would hurt, right? if it's in here first. I'll try and define it. Okay, so I just made just a little indent for shoulders so I don't lose myself there. Probably should have left a little more, but I'm gonna get a little more heat.
Need me to move that?
We're getting there, so I'll get it thick in places that are fixed.
You said you do that with your press alone?
I'll use my press with join dies on it, yeah, but the problem with the press is it goes, and all the heat goes out. Once the dies warm up, not so much, but it's also slower. Power hammer just goes, so you can keep your heat in metal for this longer. That's why power hammer is really good. You can do everything with a press that you can do with power hammer. It just takes a little more time, but it's less than by hand. There comes a point at which I have to go to the hammer, okay? First to check the length, make sure we're good. We won't work any harder than we have to. So when I hit this with the hammer some, it's going to grow even more, so I'm good. All right, let's see what we're going to do here. First I'm going to kick it down a little. I still got to stay off my ricasso as much as possible. Now I want to make sure that my angle's correct, so that I can, see, I want it over here. This is where having the template really pays off. It'll save you a headache later, because you're going to end up going to the grinder and everything you get done, it'll be like, well, it looked like it was in the right place, but now my handle goes straight off, and your hand just doesn't work like that. It drops. That's hot. See how quickly that heated up. So I need a little more drop. I should do it this way. Check it. Not right on my template. There we go. That's really close. I need a little bit more, but I don't want it to get too thick, close to the bottom part of my handle and have that wood be weak. Huh?
I think you talked one time about how you hold the hammer.
I hold my hammer the way a blacksmith told me to. And he was a young guy, but he was working making these giant band saws. He was fixing them, basically. And he said everybody got bad, damage to their arms and stuff. So I'm going to kick this tail end down just a little bit more to see if I can keep my handle thickness on either side. And I kicked it a little bit too much, but it's pretty good. Okay, I can unkick it, you're right. And plus I've got a grinder, right? I'm going to call it just about done. Did you say?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Which way was it gonna go when you flattened it? Was it gonna go down where you didn't want it?
Gloves are good. That's pretty good. That's long enough for me. If you're going to do any kind of connection here, if you're going to put a like a piece of steel or brass or something like that on the butt cap as a pommel, you need to come long enough that you can cut threads on there and screw that on if that's how you're attaching it, or come all the way through and peen it over. I'm good going short because I'm going to put threads on it and put it. So I know how far a ½ inch in is how deep my hole goes for my connector to go in there and screw onto it. The screw piece is going to come all the way to here. So I got plenty of length here on my Tang.
Would you try painting W2?
What?
Would you try painting W2?
No. I wouldn't. But I just picked W2 because I've been having a lot of fun with playing with the heat and getting hormones without clay. It's a lot of fun, right? So we did that in our knife class that we just finished with heat treat, and we all got some kind of hormone, and they were all different, and it was very cool. Wasn't really going for hormones, it's not a hormone class, but because we wanted to account for some forging issues and things, we didn't want to fully harden the whole spine of the blade to keep it from warping as much. So we used the heat. So just the edge got hard.
W2 sometimes you don't get just that temper line, you actually get some interesting.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. If you use the
Yeah.
heat, you don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
inside the body here, if it's not, because it's so shallow hardening, you just get some crazy stuff, right? You got some dots.
Some fun stuff.
Yeah, very fun. If you want to spend the time to finish it out. So, as far as straightening goes, it can be kind of boring to watch that, so it's pretty darn straight. Luckily, I would get it straighter, but that's me. Now I know that that's going to fit. My Picasso on this forging is way longer, you know, than I would normally have it. But this isn't part of the Picasso. Here, now we've done this up. You'll be able to see it over here. Okay. Maybe. So these are my lines right here to define my ricasso. And it's a little wider this way than what I would want it to end up at. So right here and here. This drop here is just where I was staying clear of that. Okay? When I hit the grinder, because of the way I make a knife now, I'm going to want this top shoulder and bottom shoulder to be parallel for the guard to fit on. Okay? And then it's going to drop after that. If you make a Tang that thick and your guard is right here, where this tool is that I'm holding, and then it tapers, that is going to be a very strong hidden Tang knife. Okay, the Master Smith test with the ABS is hidden Tang. It's one of the requirements. You need to know how to make one correctly, and if you do, it's just as strong. If you grab and bend it, it's going to bend, you know, where the clamp is, not in the hand. Okay, any questions? That was too easy, no questions. All right. Well, that's it. You can come up and take a look at it, maybe you can see it better. And you'll see it's a little wider than my template on purpose. Because like I said, it's going to be a little recurve to it, and this forging doesn't have a recurve to it. You'll see it in the template. It's a real mild, gentle one, barely noticeable. So, come on up and take a look if you want. That's it. Anybody else have anything? No?
Hey,
Check it out
Yes,
for
sir.
a while.